what a treat today. We normally get him on the phone, but he's in house.
We're special.
And I hope you get to stay here long enough for the appetizers because those appetizers rock. Damn, Zach's not
hungry
here, so you can get to eat his cheese stick. Clay Coleman, Freak Daddy, with the Huntsville Havoc.
Freak Daddy.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
to be out
shoot,
in person.
man. I was like, Freak Daddy's here today.
I'm hoping this whole thing's over before tick season because then you'd have Corona with lime.
I may do that when I get home.
Got to joke about it a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's all. All you can do that and wash your hands, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here comes more rain. Man, you gotta love it.
Rain? Yeah, dog, it is raining, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got to tote speakers tonight. I hope the rain goes
Ooh,
away.
hope it does too.
Because they got to fit in the back. I'll put a tarp over them.
Where you got to go?
67 Roadhouse tonight. That's our gig from 8:30.
Now get out there and listen to old Tomcat.
Or also we have I think we still have some tickets left for the Pokes Out at Follies. Tonight is the finale. Yeah. So I'll do my two sticks and then
I would be going to hockey tonight.
And before we get to that, Clay, have you ever seen Tom perform in his blue jeans?
I have not.
Dude, I'm going to tell you straight up.
I probably would not go to see Tom for that.
I don't know. Once you've seen it,
can't unsee it.
You want to see it again. I'm telling you. I'm heterosexual, but man. Just saying.
It's the picture of my business card back when I weighed 165, 170 pounds, and I was not fat like I am right now.
Conway Twitty tight fitting jeans.
Yeah, cowboy hat. I'm toting a guitar,
hat,
walking across a bridge, and that happens to be the picture.
It'll make you want to learn to play guitar, brother.
It's hilarious.
You got his cowboy hat on too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it was the photo shoot.
And this is why the world hopes sports comes back soon.
Yeah. Because normally we wouldn't be talking about this right here.
Well, I would. Y'all may not.
Oh wow. Oh man.
So Tim, you had a question, or one of y'all had a question before we started the show about what happened. And maybe Clay can explain the anger
well, that's kind of what we were going to get into, and what I thought I'd do is maybe hit some of these questions that folks have come up with on the Huntsville Havoc fan cave page too, and maybe he can clear some of that stuff.
Yeah, one thing I think it can clear up with fans that are looking. I know a lot of people have been upset with this and saying, I can't believe the Havoc is buying into this hysteria and all this stuff, and it's just out of our hands. I mean, it was a decision made by the SPHL, and probably more so because the team in Fayetteville, North Carolina, has pretty much shut everything down. So that makes it where they can't. And they're tied for first place right now. So it's kind of hard to tell the team that's got a chance to do it that hey, tough luck. Come on down to Birmingham and play or whatever. So and we're kind of in the same boat as everybody else. I mean, you kind of are forced to do it, and the sad part is it's more of probably a legal situation to where one person comes up after you've been warned by the world, and then one person does die, then they blame, and then they sue the BBC, they sue the Havoc, and the SEC and some of these other places may be able to afford that, but if you had a lawsuit against the SPHL or a lawsuit against the Havoc, it could cripple the organization. I mean, we all hate it as much as anybody. I hate it for the guys. I mean, there's guys that probably this year, I won't say any names, but could have been a couple of our guys that this is their last year, and they've been playing hockey, and to have a chance to possibly go for a three-peat is unheard of in sports. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys that are just, upset. But, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's a tough thing to swallow. But, it is what it is. I think you step back and say, okay, hopefully this thing blows over in 30 days or whatever. And, in 30 days, if it saved a certain percentage, okay. But, I just think a lot of people are looking at, what's going to happen. They're wanting to know about – if you want to ask some of those questions, I can try to answer some of them. But, getting their money back, of course, the Havoc's going to figure out a way. It'll probably be – in a situation of a credit for next season. Hopefully this doesn't make you not want to be a fan for next year.
Absolutely.
We do have a lot of the jerseys that are coming up that have already been ordered. That'll be, and we actually still will do some auctions. The Trash Panda jerseys, we'll still auction those off. Those charities will not be affected. The only one that's going to change that I've been notified, if for some reason in a week or so that everything is not lifted, the military night will be held, and we'll do 2 of them next year with double the money going to still serving veterans.
Wow. So that's awesome.
That's great.
What I was going to ask was, moving forward, say it is a 30-day, suspension of the season, and they have to. All right, let me rephrase the question. If they decided to go by the standings as is, where would the Havoc be?
We would be third.
Okay, there we go.
Technically second because Fayetteville and Peoria are tied for first currently right now.
Gotcha.
But I think if they were to do that, I think they would probably let Fayetteville and Peoria. I think they were supposed to have a game here within the next of their last final game, so there probably could be a tie-break game before that, and they probably would go immediately into the playoffs.
Okay,
if that's the case.
Now the President's Cup, does it travel from team to team? Whoever wins it, or you win it and you've got your own.
Yeah, because they pretty much they take it around and damage it and do whatever.
Okay.
It's not carried with kids' gloves like the Stanley Cup is.
Okay.
So. Well, that's okay. A Bama fan broke her national championship egg in Walmart one time.
Yeah. So
Dad dropped it.
it's something
Carson
like that.
We had plenty more to go from.
Clay was funny the other night, office night, when they had the desk chairs race, and he was like, maybe if you turn around and push it.
Yeah.
Do you not see what's working for your opponent here?
Yeah, sometimes alcohol limits your. So like the young lady that was doing that, I actually knew that girl, and I told her, and she's like, "Well, I was wearing boots too. They didn't tell me I was going to do this. I didn't think I was going to be on the ice."
How do they pick that stuff? I mean, don't you have to?
Sometimes there's a girl named Bridget Clevenger who is our kind of game day. In charge of that kind of stuff. She has an email. It's on the Havoc page. So if anybody ever wants to do that, shoot the puck or do one of those things, you can email her, and she's really good at saying, hey, I'll just coordinate a game that you're coming. But sometimes we don't have anybody, and she'll just go randomly walk around and pick somebody.
You'll see her walking around with a clipboard.
Oh, okay.
I got randomly picked to do that. You know when they put the head on the bat and you run around and race? I got randomly picked to do that at the Stars game one time.
Oh, wow.
You didn't fall in the dugout, did you?
Yeah,
no, somebody I was headed straight to the dugout, and somebody engaged like a good linebacker. Picked me up and pushed me back to the middle.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, here's a question here. Okay. For those of us with points that are waiting to spend, are they going to let them roll over? Since the office is closed and they can't.
Yeah, I mean, I think the office will open back up and they'll be able to spend those points. And then I'm sure that stuff will, if there was things like bench warmer or some of those things that actually had to be used at a game experience, those will definitely roll over to next season if we don't make it into the season.
I think they did something kind of like that whenever they changed the apps too. I see. Kyle Sharkey and his wife had a baby this week.
Yep.
Baby Shark,
little girl. And just like him, she doesn't have all of her teeth.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm kind of scrolling here, so y'all can talk amongst yourselves here.
I think this whole thing has been just a unique thing for everybody and how to handle it, and whether or not you're handling it the right way or the wrong way, or whatever. It's like I said, we talked about the basketball. I'm just devastated with basketball because I look at it and I really feel sorry for these kids that. Whether they were one and dones or whether they were been there playing for 4 years and this is their one shot. And if they were in the top 20, they still have a shot. And I really feel like that there's got to be some way. It probably won't happen because, like a team like Kentucky, you can't let some of those guys stay because they've got a next class coming in, and these kids have committed. They've got scholarships.
From a hockey standpoint to basketball, football. Recruiting's been shut down for sports. Right. I think I read yesterday, and I don't remember what site it was. Well, I know I read it, but I just don't remember what site it was. That the NCAA is considering allowing seniors.
So far, only I've heard in like the
spring sports.
Spring sports, not
spring
basketball.
Sports. Okay,
baseball.
Yeah,
whatever the
they've done that, and I think it's just literally because if you look at the situations, there's a lot of them that are planning on going in the NBA. Now you got the draft situation that'll come in there. So, it's just the way the system is set up, it's not held to really handle something like this.
Okay, I guess I just took it that they were talking about basketball and not just spring sports. But it's just crazy. I mean, unprecedented, obviously, without a doubt.
This is history.
Yesterday said, this is never happened in our lifetime. Right? No, never lifetime.
And the question that I have to, that I look forward and I hope that smarter heads prevail and things like this. But, we're right in the middle of the worst flu season we probably ever had.
Yeah.
So if there is this, I don't say panic, but let's say we're just taking it serious with this virus, at what point now is the precedent now that there will be sporting events if a flu season in a particular area hits above a certain threshold. Now, are we just going to shut it down? Because to me, that would be, if you're being smart about it, and that's what you're doing. You've had with the COVID-19, which is actually the 18th version of the coronavirus, so it's not the first version. Yep. So people have seen this before,
yes,
and so like if you take this and say, okay, well, I do believe there's more cases. I'm not a doctor, but I do believe there's probably more cases because, like me, I hate going to the doctor.
Yeah,
I probably had walking pneumonia. I probably had the flu. I probably had things where I just said, you know what? I'm going to stay at home. I'm going to lay in bed. I'm going to, take NyQuil or a shot of bourbon or whatever it's going to be that, but whatever makes me feel better.
You just fight through it.
Right. And so there's probably more cases, but the one thing that I look at is they're going to report deaths.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And so they've said, I think 49, I think was the latest total or whatever. Well, I mean, you and I deal with something. I mean, we have diabetes. Well, there was,
I say there's
40-some thousand people last year that died from diabetes.
Yeah.
Are we now going to say, okay, it's against the law to make anything with a sugar or carb in it? Probably not. There was 40,000, or I think like some number, the 34 million cases of the flu last year, like 40,000. If we're going to be serious, okay, I'm all about it. I do think that this one, not saying that it's sad that my mom's 84. We kind of made a joke the other night. We went to Cracker Barrel and I put it on Facebook and people were laughing because my mom, she's very funny.
I saw that.
And she was like,
great.
I want to post a picture because you're committing homicide by taking me to Cracker Barrel.
Oh, wow. By the way, the scientific term is diabetes.
Diabetes, right.
Diabetes.
But I mean, with her, it's a situation of I've got to be conscious. I got to know that my kids are there. My father recently was, but he passed away 2 years ago, but he was in a nursing home and, a situation of like, don't go in a nursing home. Take the serious actions that need to be taken. 75% of these people have died from a nursing home in Washington State, but it's the elderly. Be careful with the elderly. Let's make precautions for that. We got to use some common sense.
I
play for a couple of nursing homes, and one of mine's been kept. They're on lockdown right now, basically.
Wow.
So it's cool. That's fine. Be safe.
But
be prudent.
I just don't want moving forward. So I just didn't want to say moving forward. This to be the go-to thing. It's just
because we're going to have these things.
It's going to happen again. And geez.
Okay. All right. Somebody else wants to know if they can still buy those sweet St. Patrick's Day jerseys.
Yes, we're going to have that. That's one of the, like I said, the only jersey thing that will be changed will be the military night jersey. All the other jerseys that we're having, we'll still have these jerseys, like the black one that I'm wearing, the red and the white. At the end of the year, they'll do auctions for all the game worn jerseys.
That is a good looking jersey.
I love it.
And all the jerseys, so people aren't. They're all going to charities. I mean, even the jerseys that we sell that don't necessarily apply to a jersey, the Havoc has a Light the Lamp Foundation that we actually take other charities that are in town that may not necessarily get the publicity or get the big fundraising opportunities. And Keith Jeffries and his wife Becky, our owners, they kind of distribute funds to different, food shelters and things like that. So, we'll still keep doing everything, hopefully the same. Like I said, the whole thing it stinks so bad, and it's like put us in a situation where now we have to actually I don't know, maybe talk at home or
actually communicate with each other.
Yeah. Now, the season's suspended, so say it does start back up. I mean, what would the Havoc do about? I mean, we may have seen the last home game.
Yeah, I would say they had some talks about it the other day. I was in some of those. Some of them I can share, probably some of them I can't share.
Yeah.
But we would just. Like I said, I think what would happen would be, depending on where it was and what we needed, it would probably be a situation if they could pick up exactly where it is. The league would agree, hey, this is fair. Nothing we can do about it. Start from this point. Play whatever games left of the regular season, or it may be. We've just moved into the playoffs. Just go straight to playoffs with that Fayetteville-Peoria situation needing to be either play a game or they may look at, like a tie break, like what was their head-to-head this year, who beat who. Was it Fayetteville that had the edge on Peoria, and they may give the head-to-head to them and let them have the the regular season.
Yeah, and the Havoc have clinched the playoffs, so if there are any.
I mean, the teams like it kind of stinks for a little bit is like Birmingham and those guys are at 40 and 41 points, and they're battling out for that final spot to get in. You know, that could be an iffy situation for those individuals, and it may go to tie breaks. But
get over it.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, no. Only thing I was hoping, you know, at
there's
first,
always next year.
The first talks were, you know, kind of like they did with like the SEC tournament. You know, some of these ones where they're like, okay, well, Kentucky won the regular season, so they're the SEC tournament champs. There was talks of that. Hey, if we do that, figure out a Peoria or Fayetteville, and they're the SPHL champs this year. I don't agree with that. Like, you're just gonna call it. Just you didn't win it. You don't get it. Sorry, everybody didn't pass. Go collect $200 kind of situation, and that stinks. You know,
you got to win it to win it. You don't.
Yeah, don't want to be given
handed. No.
Yeah, you got Kentucky won the
unless you're the Houston Astros and whatever. You know,
don't get me started on that one.
Did you see where I can't remember who it was they were playing. Maybe they playing Atlanta. And they, when they were out warming up, they played I Saw the Sign.
I didn't hear that.
That's good.
Well, they and I thought this was kind of cool, just different. I was watching a preseason game, or maybe I just saw the highlights. But the Astros and the Angels, I believe, were playing. The Angels were definitely playing.
Yeah.
And crap, what's the center fielder's name? It's so good.
Trout.
They had some of the batters mic'd up as they batted.
Really?
And the commentary were talking to him, not obviously during the pitch or anything, but like they swing whatever. So he swung, hit a foul ball or something. He turns around and he's like, "Hey guys, can y'all bang on a trash can or something so I know what the next pitch is?" That's awesome.
That's pretty good.
But anyway, that was something I guess MLB's looking at possibly doing. The XFL's opened up some of that kind of communication stuff.
That's the one thing of the XFL that I love.
Absolutely,
I've loved listening to Jerry Glanville. I love him.
Oh my goodness,
He's one of my favorites.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take a quick break. Y'all hang around. The foolishness is just now beginning. So we'll be right back. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.